Solaris is building some of the best looking boats in the industry at the moment. This is the latest one, having its world debut here at Dusseldorf. It's the 52 Coupe. It's based on the 52 Open, but it's got a fully enclosed wheelhouse. So if you like to look good, but be able to go out all year round, well, this might just be for you. Should we have a closer look at it? I'm Jack Haines. Welcome to YachtBuyer. Before we get into it though, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll never miss another tour like this one. Something this shares with the open version is of course the tender garage. This rises up and inside there's space for a 2.45 metre tender. As standard, the bathing platform is fixed, but this one's got the optional hydraulic one, which obviously means it drops down into the water and just gives you that really easy access in and out of the water. And then there's equal access from both sides up into the cockpit itself. Boarding gates on both sides, and they're really nice. Very satisfying to clunk those in and out of their slots. And look at the size of this table. It's a very sociable arrangement, this. Everybody sat around this huge table that rises up and down, and in fact it drops down far enough that you can infill it with a cushion and make a huge sun pad back here. And there's also the option to have a sunshade that comes out electrically from the back of this coaming. The backrest down here drops down as well to make that sun pad arrangement, and if you want a bit more storage in here on top of what's underneath these seats, you can have a storage unit down here, but that obviously gobbles in to some of the space in the cockpit. Moving forward, one thing you'll notice about this entire range is there are no guardrails, but there isn't too much of an issue because these come up so high, you feel very safe moving forward. And we come to one of the nicest parts of the exterior of this boat, and it's all of this design work here, this amazing curvature, the way the hardtop sort of flows out of the superstructure. They are creating some absolutely wonderful shapes, and if you look back from this direction, it just looks stunning the way it parts. It's absolutely beautiful. And I talked about how safe it feels. Well, the further forward you get, the better it is, because these come up to meet you, and there's some great detail along these top sides. So you've got the teak capping, which looks lovely. You've got these really nice substantial pop-up cleats, and they pop up to 2 heights as well, and then you can just pop them back down again when you're not using them. And of course, without railings, fenders or hanging fenders could pose a bit of an issue, but they thought of that because they've got sockets dotted all the way along here on both sides, so you can just slot the fenders in and pull them out when they're done. And they found a very clever solution for storing those, which we're going to have a look at in a moment. Up here you have a lot of sunbathing space. Of course, this is quite an important sunbathing space. This is not a flybridge boat, so having some sheer sun pad where you can lie in the sun is quite important, and this is the place for it. And again, detailing is very good. Nice to see these lovely rounded handholds up here. Deep cup holders, which are just as good for putting phones and valuables in as they are for putting drinks. And you've got pop-up lights as well, so if you're using this in dim light in the evening, you've got a little bit of a light source up here as well. And I like that they've integrated this bench into the front end as well. When you're moving along slowly, going in and out of the marina, something like that, this would be a really nice place to sit. More detail. Lovely big cleats here as well, same as the ones on the side deck there, they pop up. And the way they've integrated the anchor locker and the use of space in here is very, very clever. It looks like it's all style, this boat, but there's some really practical thinking underneath all of that. So if we poke our head inside here, of course you've got your anchor arrangement. This one's got an ultramarine anchor on it. It's a very, very deep locker, but they've also put in a rail where you can plug in all of the sockets for the fenders. So they hang there, all in place. Really easy to get to, easy to put them away. That means they're all stored away in one place, not cluttering up other parts of the boat's storage. It's a really, really good solution. Let's head inside. Now, by dint of having such wide side decks, that means that this saloon feels a little bit narrower. The benefit obviously being how much space you've got on deck, but it does at least open up a lot, so you can really open this space up to the outside decks. For example, you have this pop-up window back here, so that just pops up and connects to the ceiling. So that opens up this area here between the saloon and the cockpit. You also have as an option the drop down window package. This boat's got it, so you have these big windows on either side. There's a control down here and you can drop them right down, again to aid natural ventilation, not only to get a breeze through, but you can see we've got cooking here. If you are cooking inside, having that big window open will really help draw all that cooking smell out of the boat. Sunroof overhead as well, that's an option. Slightly different on this boat. You'd expect that to be over the Helm Station normally, but they've put it over the saloon, which in many ways makes a lot of sense, because if you are eating inside, you may still want to have the light coming down, the air coming down. Works quite well, and just means that this area back here gets the most natural light it can possibly get. And it's a well kitted out galley as well. You've got domestic size fridge and freezer over here. There's a wine cooler very cleverly integrated into the area by the door under that window there. A big sink whose cover slots down here when it's not in use. There's the option to have a dishwasher. Lots of storage underneath this counter as well, so if you are going to live on board the boat and you can do some cooking, you can look after guests, and this is your only galley, there's no wet bar anywhere else, you rely on this place heavily, but it's well kitted out to do so. Over here have the television. The usual thing pops up, so that goes right up, it's in place here obviously behind the Helm Station, which we'll move into now. Now there are a couple of IPS engine options on this boat. You can have IPS 650, which is twin 480 horsepower, or IPS 800, which is twin 600 horsepower, which I think will be the more popular option, because top speed, that boat's doing 33 knots. The smaller engines, you're looking at 29 knots. So if you want to cruise at about 25 knots, it's probably going to feel a bit easier with the bigger engines, and there's certainly space in the engine room to fit them, as we will see in a moment. And what about the Helm Station? Well, it's a really good space. There's lots of room to have MFDs. You can see we've got triple here, which gives you lots of flexibility when it comes to presenting the information. We've got a double bench here. It's a bit of a shame that the bolster is fixed. If they had a split in it, it means that one person could bolster and one person could sit if they wanted to, but there is adjustment on the wheel, and you can see the seat is nice and close to the Helm Station, so the controls should be within relatively easy reach. If I'm being picky, it would be nice to have some sort of side door integrated into this area. It just makes it so much easier to move around the boat, but also for the person driving the boat to help out with the crewing if they need to. You have at least got manual windows on both sides, so you can get some fresh air from this helm position. Let's head downstairs. One of the brilliant things about this particular layout is how open it is down here. It broadens out into this wonderful open plan sleeping space forward, where you've got the big double bed, you've got hull windows on either side, big headroom as well, with hatches in the roof for ventilation. Now, if you're going to have friends on board a lot, you probably don't want this arrangement because it's not very private, but for family, absolutely brilliant. If you do have guests on board, you might want the option where you can partition this area off here, so you can put a door in here, which obviously just gives you total privacy from the cabins back here, and it also closes off this bathroom here on the port side. Now the downside to that is you come downstairs and you're faced by a big bulkhead. The beauty of this arrangement is the openness, and that's helped by having a skylight in the roof. Now this is the 3-cabin boat, so we have a twin here to port, which has got a few headroom restrictions, but actually the berths themselves are a really good size, and they've got a nice slice of hull window as well, so again, light is pretty good, but it's not as good as next door, which is a really nice cabin. Even in this 3-cabin arrangement, you can get through it this way because there's dayhead access to this toilet, but it's also ensuite to this cabin. Now in the 2-cabin arrangement, this bulkhead would push over there, leaving just a single berth over there as a crew cabin, or just a single cabin for kids, or you can have it as a utility space, but there's only access from on deck if you have the 2-cabin version. But of course that makes this cabin really, really big and spacious, arguably even the master. But there's lots of flexibility down here, depending on how you want to use the boat. Let's head to the engine room. I should probably mention the woodwork, because there's a lot of timber on this boat and it's very, very nicely executed. The standard option is to have oak in here. This is an upgraded teak, and there's also walnut. But whatever you have, detailing is lovely, and this is a good case in point. This relief pattern here on the fridge and freezer is really nice, and I like the way they've integrated these stainless steel handholds so subtly inside that wooden panel. It's very, very nice, and the teak on the outside is really nicely executed as well. But onto the machinery space. Now the hatch in the cockpit, your access point, isn't enormous to look at, but the good news is once you're down there, the space is really very good. So let's go and have a look. Now, there may not be standing headroom in here, but the rest of the space is very good. I talked about the function as well as form of this boat. It's a great looking boat, but they have not forgotten the engineering. So there's plenty of space around these engines. These are the biggest IPS 800s, so a bigger block than the smaller D6 engines. And you can see how much space they've got. Okay, the tender garage nibbles into the space overhead a little bit, but getting around those and getting to the pods is very easy. The fuel tanks are isolated right forward, but they're not tucked away or covered by anything, so you can get to them easily. The fuel filters are equally easy to get to. The battery boxes have all got lids on them, so you can use them to stack things on top of without damaging the batteries if you want to. And if you do want to have the gyro stabilizer, there's a big dedicated space for that just forward of the engines. It's a really good space. Thank you very much for watching that tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like and let me know if you think if there's a better looking 50-foot boat out on the market right now. Put it in the comments below. If you want to watch more Italian stuff, I've got a sea trial of the Azimut Magellano 60. I'll put that up there. We'll put a few more sea trials down here if you want to watch those. If you'd like to subscribe, you can click up here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.